of lifestyle, so to speak, that you live? How do you think that would mesh with the other guys in the house, the other men and women who are
Um,
military, law enforcement, pros, hunters, etc.?
I think most of people. I think most of people have a pretty hard time with it because they're fairly conservative. I think in their. I'm conservative in my perspective towards government. I just think government ought to stay out of your private life. But I think their approach to me. I believe in gay marriage. I believe in a lot of things that they might not abide by, and I definitely think that it might be contradictory. I don't force my values or opinions on anybody. But I definitely feel it'll have to kind of manifest itself and develop up and kind of come out whether it wants to or not. Because usually, most of the people I find that have a hard time with me are the people that ask the most questions. My fiance at the present time, she got in trouble at her work. She sells hardware and stuff via sales. And one of her coworkers asked where she had stayed one night, and she says, we stayed at a resort. And it was a clothing optional resort. He asked about 5 questions, and basically she got reprimanded. So essentially you got a guy who's asking questions about your private life, says, oh, I got offended by your answers after he's asked the questions. So I think you'll see that transpire if I'm a participant in the show. You'll see guys dig into what I'm into, and they'll be offended by it or bothered by it, and it'll become kind of, I don't want to say conflict, but it'll definitely create some interesting television.
Absolutely. Point blank, can you hang with the pros, and why do you think so?
Absolutely. I think the reason why is I can adapt. My thing is, there's a quote from Ginger Rogers. She said, I can do anything Fred Astaire can do, but I can do it backwards and in high heels. My perspective towards the whole thing will be that those guys might go out and shoot 10,000 rounds a week or 10,000 rounds a month or 10,000 rounds a day training at the range. The minute you put a guy upside down, if he's never done that, it's going to be a whole different shooting experience. The minute you have a guy rappelling downward, going to be a whole different shooting experience. So the 10,000 rounds or 30,000 rounds, it's not going to go out the window, but I think competitively, that edge is not so much fine. It's going to get a little blurred, and the shades of gray will start to come in. And I think that's when a unique personality can rise to the top. I saw the previews for season 2, and this guy's talking about, he's ex-military guy. If I get beat by a real estate agent, I'm going to buy a house and burn myself down in it. Well, there's a strong possibility that that's going to happen to him. I saw Ian was the first guy was, a home builder. So it's just like there's lots of opportunity there and lots of possibilities. I would hate to think that if I beat those guys, they would hate themselves so bad that they want to burn themselves down in a recently purchased house. But that's a possibility. Anything's possible.
All right, good. So your skill set, you're confident in your skill set where it stands now to go toe-to-toe with some professional shooters.
Absolutely. I think the alternative shooting characteristics you guys implement there on the program will definitely give me an edge. I think there's, like I said, I think most of their, I call it optimum kind of trainers. There are people that train under optimum conditions. I don't think most of them are folks that are going to be accustomed to going out and training under trying circumstances, which, like I say, I see the previews, this guy's hanging on that upside down, that wheel. It's going to change the entire dynamic of what it's like when you're looking downrange.
All right, Michael, you can cut that.
Good enough?